Hiya guys, Sherry Trifle, a classic. But it's the ultimate summer dessert in my opinion anyway. So let's get straight into how we go about making this. I put in a jug 3 tablespoons of custard powder. The recipe on the back will call for 2, but because I want it to set a little firmer rather than be the consistency to pour over, and then add 2 dessert spoonfuls of sugar and 2 dessert spoonfuls of milk, any milk that you're choosing to use. And then I stir the mixture up thoroughly. It absolutely is crucial that you get it without lumps, and this is just a time, but it takes a minute or less. Once mixed thoroughly, I stand that to one side and I put the remainder of the milk into another jug and I pop this in the microwave for a few minutes until almost boiling. Whilst that's coming to the boil in the microwave, it's time to make the jelly. I use these sugar-free sachets and they're very quick to mix. You want to be making in the end up to about 3/4 of a pint, so to start with I use boiling water for about 1/2 a pint. When thoroughly mixed, I stand that to one side to cool. At this stage there's no need to put that in the fridge to set, you haven't really finished with it yet. So I bring forward my nice trifle dishes, any dishes you've got that are wide at the top, the best suited for trifles. And then I have some of these finger biscuits to use up, so I just broke 1 finger per trifle into half, and that sits neatly in the bottom. You could use slice of cake, anything you've got that would absorb and form quite a firm layer within a trifle, that the other layers are quite soft. As these are a sherry trifle, I like to use a good sherry, and I put a couple of dessert spoonfuls into each of the dishes. I try to put roughly 1 dessert spoonful per piece of the sponge. There's 2 methods to this. You can use a spoon as you see me do here, but you can just pour some into the bottom, and the way you get it into the sponge then is to simply turn the sponges over in the bottom once you've put the sherry into the dish. Either way works just as well, it's entirely up to you. The sherry will be absorbed into those sponges in a matter of seconds. So the milk in the microwave is now hot, and what I want to do is to amalgamate it with the paste that we made earlier with the custard powder and the sugar. So pour this on, and you want to stir all the time constantly, and as you can see it does just make up to a nice pint, which is what you're looking to achieve really. So a good stir and a good mix, and then to bring this back to the boil, because obviously the paste was cold and you do need to get it to boil to cook out the corn flour, which is what the custard powder's made of. So then pop it back in the microwave and bring it back to the boil. Give it a good stir, then get a piece of folded cling film and then just pop that in on the surface to prevent any air being on the custard, and then you'll have no skin when you take it out of the fridge, which is where you're now putting it. Whilst that's cooling in the fridge, and modern fridges can more than easily cope with cooling something from boiling the size of that down to room temperature, you can add your cold water to your jelly, which is now cooled, and make it up to your 3/4 of a pint. By putting the jelly into a jug, it just makes it much simpler to pour and to be able to judge to get them even. These then go in the fridge to set. Doesn't take very long, and by which time the custard is also cooled and ready to put on top of the jelly. I use my now patented spoon method, but you could use any method that you want. I've known people pipe it on, I've known people put it on in a big lump and then have great difficulty trying to spread it out. I don't recommend that one. But as you can see, it's cool and ready to sit on top of the jelly, but it's not so firm set that it can't be applied in this way, and it takes only seconds to pop these spoonfuls on and then smooth it out. Had your jelly not quite set enough, and that's easily done, what you would get is that the jelly would still sort of come up the side of the dish around the custard as you put it in. It's not the end of the earth. You'll still end up with a lovely dessert, and when you do put these back in the fridge, they will set and be perfectly fine. So it's definitely not a case for a panic or a wasted dessert and a wasted time and ingredients. Just use your back of your spoon to smooth out the custard and then pop them in the fridge to set. After about half an hour or so, when it's firmed up, you want to pop on the first layer of cream. In my case, I'm using the single soya cream, which forms a lovely smooth creamy layer that fully covers the surface. However, I want them to have a little bit more pizzazz than that, and I use spray cream, and what I'm looking to achieve with this is sort of a small peak effect on it that's more interesting to the eye. And I do this by applying a streak of the cream down the centre of the dish and working it to the sides. If there's any cream going to leak over the edges or anything, it does it this way, but it's even, and you don't end up with all the dessert underneath this layer being pushed to one side as you do it. And you can control the peaks and the appearance that you're looking to achieve, and then when you suddenly think, actually that looks nice now, it's time to decorate. In this case, I just chose this lovely gold glittery top, and why not? It's summer after all, and it reminds me of sunshine, and it's enough to finish them. I don't like to go over the top with the decoration. I don't think it needs it, because when you look at the layers, you'll see the lovely colours and the separation, and I think it really sells itself. And you can't deny they're a wonderful, cool, fresh, light, but luxurious summer dessert. Thanks for watching. Enjoy!